it was just amazing to be a part of different groups. So there was growth there because I was a part of different groups until I probably became the product, on its own to stand alone. So groups, people like Rob Zai Taylor, Richard, Boo Hinson, Barbara Cadet, a lot of these people were instrumental in me, being that product until I was able to stand alone, because they gave me an opportunity to be a part of their sets. So with jazz, it allowed me to do that. They gave us opportunities. So everything I ever wanted to do, in the jazz festival, I actually did, from singing, percussions, backgrounds. I remember in Sojan, myself, Ace, Lockton, Nadine, Roberts, we were background singers, we used to do that. And then I wanted to play drums, and I got to do that with Soul Food, and that was Rob Zai, myself. So everything that I wanted to do, I actually got to do. For me, being a part of the festival and being able to travel and go different places on a jazz scene, and especially like the French side of it, because we did Martinique, like the whole French side, Cayenne, Guadeloupe, Paris, as far as Paris, so we did all that on that kind of vibe. It was different because people on that side more appreciate, what you did. Like they were more technical with the music. They would go in, like, they would really pay attention to every piece of instrument. Compared to Carnival, everybody having a good time. You had to rub in your head here, okay? It's a hot song, something you good, but on the jazz side, people get more involved in that kind of creative vibe.
My first instrument was guitar, and then afterwards I couldn't get a guitar. So what I did was I got a box of a guitar frame, and then I used to put fishing line on that just to try and play bass. And then from there, I noticed that, hey, you could get from there to there. And the actual musicians that I was hanging around with, they didn't even know I knew more than them. So then I ended up teaching them and stuff like that, moving forward and things like that. So then my first instrument was guitar. Then a Casio keyboard, which I had get my hands on. And moving from a Casio keyboard, linking up with a band with the help of Mr. Arthur Tisson, which is very, very prominent right here in St Lucia Jazz. And then it's from there that everything started moving on. But my first instrument, just me, the little box with fishing line. That's where I started.
My first experience was performing at Jazz on the Square on Q Shandea's set. There were quite a lot of people, and it was so heartwarming, the response that I got for doing original music. I was not into jazz music until I met Rob. It was just another thing, like I don't really do carnival, so when I heard jazz, it was like, oh, jazz, nothing much about it, the jazz music. And then when I met Rob and I listened to his music, I kind of got to like it.
I've always had a passion for the instrument, but over the years I didn't really get the chance to do it. But when I came to St Lucia, I really got the chance to. It has been sometimes challenging, but sometimes really fun, because it's kind of hard to really connect with a teacher here, because everyone is so busy. But I get lessons from Arturo Tapin, which I'm really grateful for. So thanks, Arturo. The mentorship is completely amazing. Getting trained from a guy of that level of playing, Arturo Tapin, is completely amazing, and I really appreciate it. My friends and family are really supportive with my music career, and if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be doing this. It's really heartwarming to see such support that I get from peers my age and even older people who really support what I do.
Back then, I was this young performer, fairly inexperienced, but I looked up to Luther Vandross. I looked up to a lot of these artists that I've seen over the Jazz Festival performances, the Kool and the Gangs, the Earth, Wind and Fires, Patti LaBelle, Chaka Khan, all of those. And it inspired me to work towards being as good a performer or as great as I can be. If there are young artists that have that same drive and that have looked up to me and were impressed and want to do that same, I'm hoping that my performance did that for them, you know.
Initially, the creative industries was not an integral part of the objective of the festival. It was primarily focused on music and bringing in international artists who had a pull, who had the potential to cause people to visit the destination and travel to see them in a tropical environment. So that was the clear objective. But as time grew, we recognized the potential that the creative industries and the development of our own local music industry in St Lucia, how you could infuse that into the festival to create a different level of attractiveness that made it, it created a platform for the development of that sector, and at the same time make it unique and attractive. And that is when the festival went into the rebranding 4 years ago to incorporate not just the local talent, but also to bring in all the elements of the creative industry: dance, music, visual arts, film, spoken word, poetry, all of those things, to incorporate it to make it a true art, jazz and arts festival.
We at the Landings are privileged to have built a career in one of the more predominant revenue generators for the island entirely. We are in the business of creating experiences, of creating memories. And the St Lucia Jazz and Arts Festival has allowed us to do that brilliantly, because it allows the average traveler, the Caribbean traveler, the international traveler to come to a paradise island and really experience calibers of music that you would find both on regional and international stage. The Landings has really enjoyed high occupancies during the jazz period.
Telison, thank you for having us. And first St Lucia Jazz, and this is one of the premier stages in the Caribbean. I think when it comes to festivals in the Caribbean, this is probably the #1 actually. So it was really good to be a part, and I got a part of your set. Energy was there, the love was there, and as we said, it was natural, all vibes. Bam.
No preservatives, no additives, all natural.
All natural. Yeah.
My first experience with the festival, I performed at the main stage jazz at Pigeon Island. I was able to back up my good friend, Irvin Ace Lockja. So that was my amazing experience. I wasn't in the forefront, but I got to experience the whole. The headline was Neo. I've grown up listening to Neo. I've loved all his songs, his writing style, and seeing him performing right in front of my eyes was the best thing ever.
You have a select few bands who normally get work for the hotel scene. I mean, St Lucia, because of our heavy focus on tourism, you find a demand for music and the arts really at all the different hotels. And really and truly, you can't run a hotel without entertainment. So that's a good thing for us musicians, because there's work throughout the entire week basically. If a guy like myself, if my band Evolution, we play almost 4 to 5 times a week. So that's sort of a good thing. So I think that a lot more, we tend to focus around the hotels, but I think that we could probably reach out more on the outside and create a better party scene, because I think that's what's lacking in St Lucia, more of the outside performances. But the hotel really helps to develop the musicians, and I think that's why our standard is quite up there with the rest of the world. The influences of St Lucian music stems a lot from French-based music. You have a lot of the instruments which were used by the French, as well as the African slaves who came to the Caribbean a long time ago. You still find that we are heavily influenced by their trades in terms of from the instruments to the style, the shak and the violin. It's infused in our own culture, and I think that we need to do an even better job at exporting what we have. Let the people out there know what St Lucia has to offer, because whereas Trinidad has their distinct style and Jamaica with their reggae style, we St Lucia also have our own vibe with our own folk music that people like Session Dave Scott made so popular. If we can infuse it into the modern music, we St Lucia can create a product and stamp it out there, brand it properly, and then the world will be rushing on to St Lucia to see what we have to offer.